Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 9 p.m. English News edition. Here are the top stories. For the national news, the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Margelle, returns from African Union European Union Summit in Angola, Luanda. And for the international news, Hezbollah chief of staff killed, tensions rise in Lebanon. The details now, as I mentioned on the title, His Excellency Al-Hajj Ismail Margelle, President of the Republic, returned to the country on Tuesday evening after attending the 70th African Union European Union Summit, which was held over 2 days, November 24th, 25th, in Luanda, the capital of Angola. The AU-EU Summit, which takes place every 2 years, continued its approach of dedicating a significant part of its proceedings to a comprehensive review of relationships between the two continents. During the event, the key topics concerning cooperation between the two bodies were discussed, including peace and security, development and migration. The summit also provided an opportunity for both sides to explore ways to strengthen their cooperation and solidarity in addressing transcontinental challenges, including climate change, energy transition, and digital transformation. President Ismail Margelle's participation in the 7th AU-EU Summit was marked by his call for greater priority to be given to issues related to the Horn of Africa within the framework of the African Union European Union partnership. And the African and European leaders gathered in Luanda to take part in the African Union European Union Summit, which spans 2 days and aims to strengthen economic and political ties between the two countries. More than 80 heads of state and government are participating in the meeting, including the President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Ismail Margelle, who is heading a high-level delegation. The discussions will focus on trade, migration, and access to essential raw materials. This summit coincides with the 25th anniversary of the African Union European Union Partnership, and leaders from both continents seek to redefine cooperation in strategic areas such as peace, trade, health, and the promotion of multilateralism. According to Export-Mate in 2023 analysis, the European Union remains Africa's leading trading partner, with trade and services exchanges reaching $538 billion, reflecting Africa's strategic importance thanks to its mineral wealth and energy potential. Under the leadership of His Excellency President Ismail Margelle, the Republic of Djibouti stands out as a key actor at both the continental and international levels, thanks to its strategic location and its role in promoting peace and stability, strengthening economic integration, advancing energy transition, and upholding dialogue as a tool for conflict resolution objectives that fully align with the vision of the AU-EU Summit. And now, in his speech, the President Ismail Mergele highlighted the key priorities of the 70th summit held in Luanda. He underscored the need to strengthen strategic cooperation between Africa and Europe, particularly in areas such as peace and security, economic integration, energy transition, and digital transformation.
Foremost, allow me to thank my brother, His Excellency João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola, and the brotherly Angolan people for the warm welcome we have received since our arrival and for the exemplary organizations of this meeting. It is with pleasure and renewed optimism that I participate in this 7th African Union and European Union Summit here in Luanda. The proceeding of this 7th Summit come at a time when our two continents are facing major challenges, but they also offer crucial opportunities for the future of our peoples. I commend the committed political will for consultation and coordination that drives us and brings us together here today. Since the 6th African Union and European Union Summit in Brussels in 2022, which marked the launch of the Common Visions 2030, our relations with the European Union have reached a decisive stage. This vision now constitutes the strategic roadmap for a modernized, balanced, and result-oriented partnership in a world marked by geopolitical fragmentation, the erosions of international law, and the proliferation of crises. Africa and Europe must remain staunch defenders of a renewed, inclusive, and effective multilateralism. We share the responsibility of preserving an international order based on rules, cooperation, and respect for sovereignty. Co-President, I would like to address a subject that directly impacts international stability, the security of the Red Sea. This maritime space is not simply a logistical corridor, it represents a vital arteries of international trade, a pivot of energy security, and a strategic link between Europe, Asia, and Africa. As you are all aware, since the end of 2023, navigations in the Red Sea has faced serious threats, including armed attacks against ships, persistent regional tensions, and a resurgence of piracy in the Gulf of Aden. These acts have disrupted international supply chains, increased maritime transport costs, and weakened the economies of both continents. Djibouti, located at the heart of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, fully assumes its responsibilities as a littoral state. However, we reiterate that the stabilization and lasting security of the Red Sea can only be achieved through a collective, structured, and inclusive approach based on close coordination between the African Union and the European Union. The security of this strategic waterway must become a joint priority.
And now, the President Ismail Mergele also called for greater attention to the challenges facing the Horn of Africa. Let's listen to the key moments of his address at this major international event.
In this regard, I wish to commend the European Union's commitment through Operation ENAVFOR aspects, which has been extended until 2026. This initiative has contributed to strengthening maritime security in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. However, the challenges we face exceed the capabilities of a single operation. Therefore, to ensure lasting security, it is essential that maritime cooperation be built, governed, and jointly managed by Europe, the coastal states, and African regional organizations. Djibouti supports the swift finalizations of a clear and operational SOFA agreement, as well as enhanced cooperation with Operation Atalanta. Aspects must now be part of an integrated regional architecture in line with the principles of Common Vision 2030. Mr. Co-chairs, Djibouti host countries of the IGAD headquarters and current chair wishes to emphasize the crucial role of this organization for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. Between 2022 and 2025, our region was profoundly affected by the war in Sudan, the fragile situation in South Sudan, migratory pressures with nearly 300,000 migrants on our territory, and the resurgence of maritime insecurity. Faced with these challenges, IGAD remains the most credible regional platform for mediation, preventive diplomacy, early warning, border security, and regional integration. We call on our European partners to strengthen their support in line with the conclusions of the Djibouti-European Union dialogue on March 2024 and the commitments made during the consultations of May 2025. Finally, we can no longer afford to address our shared challenges with fragmented or ad hoc actions. This summit must be a moment of clarity and responsibility, a moment to redefine the foundations of a renewed partnership that places strategic investment and economic transformation at its core. The Republic of Djibouti remains fully committed to working with all its African and European partners to make the AU-EU partnership a model of modern, balanced and forward-looking cooperation.
At the same afternoon, the President of the Republic, Al-Haj Ismail Omar Guelleh, held a meeting this afternoon with his French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, on the sidelines of the AU-EU summit taking place in Luanda. During this meeting, the head of state reviewed several issues of common interest at the bilateral, regional and international levels. Regarding bilateral relations, both leaders welcomed the effective entry into force last September the Defense Cooperation Treaty, as well as the upcoming first meeting of the treaty's follow-up committee scheduled to be held in Djibouti next December. On the economic front, and particularly concerning the major project of the new airport, they expressed satisfaction with the significant progress made toward the rapid finalization of the process to organize a donor roundtable for financial structuring. The two heads of state also commended the recent decision of the Francophonie Ministerial Conference held in Kigali from November 18-19, designation Djibouti to host the Francophonie Economic Mission in October 2026, where more than 200 operators from across the Francophone world are expected. At the regional level, the two leaders held extensive discussion on the major crises affecting the region and agreed to continue their joint effort aimed at preserving peace and stability. Djibouti's key role as a pillar of regional stability, particularly in its current capacity as chair of IGAD, was also highlighted, especially regarding its active contribution to the facilitating maritime security and peacekeeping operations in Somalia and elsewhere, notably within the African Union and IGAD. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation government spokesperson, His Excellency Mr. Abdulkader Hussein also took part in the discussion. And now we're coming back to Djibouti, where the Prime Minister and acting head of government, Mr. Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed, received today in the VIP lounge of the Prime Minister's office the newly appointed ambassador of Japan to the Republic of Djibouti. The meeting focused on ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation between Djibouti and Japan, particularly through a grant provided via UNICEF for the construction of 15 wells aimed at improving access to drinking water in the Tajura and Obok regions. The discussion also highlighted pivotal role in maritime security in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, given the presence of Japan's self-defense forces operating alongside the international community in combating piracy, terrorism, and illicit trafficking. Both parties also addressed the renewal of the agreement concerning the stationing of the Japanese military base in Djibouti for the year 2026, a symbol of partnership built on stability, trust, and regional solidarity. And now on the sideline of the Industrialization Summit, the Djiboutian delegation headed by the Minister of Finance, His Excellency Ilyas Musa Dawale, held a meeting in Riyadh with the Saudi Vice Minister of Finance, Mr. Abdullah bin Sarah. The discussion focused on ways to strengthen economic cooperation between the two countries, as Djibouti hopes to obtain additional technical and financial support from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, particularly in the fields of infrastructure development and the industrial sector. Minister Ilyas Musa Dawale emphasized the importance of modernizing and enhancing the capacities of Djibouti's public administration in order to attract more investment. For his part, the Saudi Vice Minister of Finance reaffirmed the Kingdom's commitment to supporting Djibouti's reform and development process, noting the implementation of several programs aimed at strengthening professional skills and supporting major economic initiatives. Still, the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of industry, Mr. Ilyas Musa Dawale, met in Riyadh with the Director General of International Cooperation and Special Envoy of Italy. Also present at the meeting were the Aidin Bamahrama, Djibouti's ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Mrs. Alessandra, the UNDP resident representative in Djibouti. The meeting fostered constructive discussion on strengthening bilateral relations between Djibouti and Italy. The participants explored opportunities for cooperation in several key areas, including education, sustainable development, and vocational training, with the goal of supporting Djibouti's socio-economic progress. The minister underscored the importance of this meeting as a catalyst for initiatives beneficial to both countries, affirming that strengthening cooperation with Italy is essential to achieving Djibouti's economic development objectives. He expressed his commitment to further consolidating relations between the two nations, highlighting the strong political will to support projects that benefit the people of Djibouti. Both sides agreed to work together to identify concrete projects that would improve living conditions and boost local capacities. The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, together with the Turkish ambassador to Djibouti, officially launched this morning the construction of a new student housing at the School of Excellence in Balbala, specifically at PK13. The ceremony was held on the school premises in the presence of Djibouti's ambassador to Turkey, as well as senior officials from the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training. This major project, fully funded by the donation from the Turkish Sarayli Group as part of a broader effort to strengthen national educational infrastructure. The project aims to significantly improve the living and housing conditions of students of this renowned institution. In his remark, the Turkish ambassador expressed his satisfaction in contributing to this initiative, which he described as concrete evidence of the deep friendship between the two countries. He praised the shared commitment to education, noting that this sector is a strategic priority for both Djibouti and Turkey. He also extended his gratitude to the Djiboutian authorities and the President of the Republic for their continued support. And now, for the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, he stated that the laying of the foundation stone marks an important step toward implementing the President Ismail Margele vision.
Aujourd'hui, en lançant la première phase.
Today, with the launch of the first phase of construction for the Excellence dormitories, we are fully embracing the spirit of fraternity. This vision places youth and quality education at the very heart of national development. This project is not merely an infrastructure investment, it is the concrete expression of the President's directives, urging us to build a more inclusive and equitable school system capable of providing every student with the conditions necessary for success. Within the School of Excellence, equipped with modern, safe, and well-adapted facilities, we clearly reaffirm that the well-being of our children is a fundamental priority and that every student must be able to pursue and complete their education under the best possible conditions. These dormitories reflect a sustainable and forward-looking policy, one that continues to evolve in order to meet the ambitions of our fair and forward-thinking nation, one committed to excellence and to giving each learner the opportunity to fully realize their potential. By laying this first foundation, we show that the government is already putting the head of state's vision into action, building a nation where every citizen, without exception, can aim high, learn in good conditions, and fully thrive. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the director of Sarayli Enterprise for his valuable support and collaboration in making this project a reality. I further express my deep appreciation to the people of Turkey, as well as to the Turkish authorities and the ambassador for their unwavering support and the quality of their cooperation.
And now, as part of the 7th edition of the National Disability Week, the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities, ANPH, organized this morning at the People's Palace an official ceremony dedicated to the appointment of the President of the National Network for Persons with Disabilities. The ceremony, which represents an important step in strengthening the representation and organization of the National Network of Persons with Disabilities, was attended by prominent figures. The presence of these personalities underscored the importance placed on promoting the rights of persons with disabilities, encouraging their active participation in society, and empowering them to become self-reliant within our country. During the event, several speeches highlighted the crucial role of the National Network for Persons with Disabilities in coordinating organization working toward inclusion, as well as the commitment of the ANPH to support and accompany initiatives aimed at improving the well-being of persons with special needs. The ceremony concluded with the signing of a cooperation agreement between the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities and the National Network for Persons with Disabilities. This agreement aims to strengthen strategic partnership, unify effort, and implement joint activities to promote the social, economic, and educational inclusion of persons with disabilities. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Mrs. Aminah, stated that the issue of disability is an integral part of the government's social policy, especially the social policy implemented by the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity.
Allow me to express my great pride in taking part today in this 7th edition of the National Disability Week. This event reflects our collective determination to promote the dignity, rights, and inclusion of persons with disabilities in our country. The appointment of the President of the National Network of Persons with Disabilities is an important milestone. It strengthens not only the structuring of the associative movement, but also the representation of thousands of citizens who rely on committed organizations to carry their voice. I would like to commend the remarkable work of the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities, whose daily efforts help support, accompany, and encourage initiatives in favor of people with special needs. The National Network is a key partner that helps organize activities and bring together organizations working for inclusion. The signing of the cooperation agreement between the agency and the network marks an important step forward. I reaffirm today that we will continue this work with determination so that we may build a fairer, more inclusive, and truly supportive society.
And now, the Director General of the NPH underlined that this partnership strengthened their joint efforts to improve the living condition of persons with special needs.
I'm very happy to be here with you today for the 7th edition of National Disability Week. This event reminds us of our shared responsibility to make sure that every person with a disability can take part fully in the social, economic, and civic life of our country. The appointment of the President of the National Network of Persons with Disabilities is an important step. It strengthens the voice of the disability community and helps the network defend rights, propose solutions, and support initiatives created by the people themselves. Today, the National Network plays a key role in building a more inclusive future. I want to congratulate all members of the network for their hard work, and I thank all our partners who work with us every day. The cooperation agreement we signed today marks an important moment. It will help us join our efforts, better coordinate our actions, and create stronger programs for people with special needs. Our goal is clear: to ensure that every person with a disability has equal chances, equal dignity, and equal opportunities. And I assure you that NPH will continue this mission with determination and commitment.
And now, the Ministry of Trade and Tourism organized a national workshop today at the Sheraton Hotel to mobilize technical support and strengthen capacities for the implementation of the Trade Facilitation Agreement held in partnership with the Trademark Africa, the WTO, and the French Development Agency, AFD. The event brought together public institutions, national experts, technical partners, and key stakeholders in the trade sector. Discussion focused on progress made, remaining structural and operational challenges, and priority reform requiring additional support. The workshop served as a key platform to coordinate efforts and define future actions, including a unified action plan and monitoring mechanisms. The newly appointed prefect of Djibouti City, Mr. Abdi Hassan Ahmed, carried out his first official visit this morning to review the services and operations of the prefecture and the First District Sub-Office. During the visit, he met administrative team, assessed service delivery mechanism, and reaffirmed priorities such as improved governance, closer engagement with citizens, and modernizing administrative tools. He emphasized transparency, cooperation among institutional actors, and a result-oriented approach to enhance public service efficiency. The prefect concluded his tour at the First District Sub-Office, where he was warmly received by the local authorities and community representatives. He pledged to remain regular field visit to stay connected with local realities and better respond to citizen needs. And now the Forum of Association NGOs for Sustainable Development held its annual Assembly General on Monday, welcoming several new organizations reflecting growing interest in sustainable development issues. Key decisions included the creation of a Committee on Social Inclusion and Gender, a second committee dedicated to follow-up, coordination and professionalization. The meeting also benefited from technical support by a PLA association, which helped strengthen internal governance and member training. The General Assembly also concluded with renewed collective commitment, followed by a consultative workshop on establishing a tripartite political dialogue framework between technical partners, civil society and the state. And now the Djibouti Port Corridor Road, in partnership with the SMUR Emergency Services of the Djibouti University Hospital, the THU, concluded a 4-month first aid training program launch on 22nd June 2025. More than 100 staff members, including field workers, office employees and managers, received comprehensive training in emergency assessment, basic life support, CPR and coordination with emergency services. Evaluations showed excellent performance, with many women ranking among the top trainees. These top performers will now serve as safety focal point within their teams. Both institutions reaffirmed their commitment to continuing the strategic partnership and promoting gender equality in capacity building efforts. In his word, the Director General of the CHU emphasized that the training will equip staff with essential emergency response skills to ensure a safer work environment. And for the DPCR's General Director, he highlighted that the program strengthens teamwork and ensures organized, effective responses to emergencies. And now we go into Obok for the second consecutive day following a visit to Bisidiro, a delegation led by the President of the Obok Regional Council and the Deputy Prefect, accompanied by the UNICEF Djibouti's resident representative, Mrs. Beata Estel, headed to the village of Lhassa. The community, led by traditional elders, welcomed the delegation warmly before meeting the residents. The mission visited Lhassa's ancestral well, which is in urgent need of a major rehabilitation. Authorities and UNICEF representatives were able to assess its condition directly on site. After the delegation then held a discussion with community representatives inside a traditional structure built by local residents with support from elders originating from Lhassa and now living in the capital. This facility will serve as a dormitory for children from surrounding settlements. After the welcoming remarks, villagers outlined the main challenges they face daily, including education, health services, access to water, and support for community-driven initiatives. And now for the regional news in Ethiopia, the Haile Goba volcano in Ethiopia's Afar region erupted for the first time in about 12,000 years, according to the Smithsonian Global Volcanism Program.
A volcano in northern eastern Ethiopia, Haile Gobi, erupted in a rare geological event that has occurred for the first time in approximately 12,000 years, according to the institution's World Volcanology Program. The volcano is located in the Afar region within the Rift Valley, an area of intense tectonic activities. The volcano, which rises to about 500 meters, sweeps immense plumes of smoke reaching 14 kilometers in height before its activity subside after a few hours. No casualties have been reported in Ethiopia, as the volcano is located in a remote and sparsely populated areas, while authorities continue to monitor the situation to assess any potential damage.
And now, Israeli airstrike in Beirut kills Hezbollah chief of staff. The details with Gasira.
Israel carried out an airstrike on the Harid neighborhood in Beirut's southern suburbs, marking the first direct bombing of the Lebanese capital since June. The attack killed the chief of staff in Al-Tababi, as well as several civilian casualties, according to Lebanese Ministry of Health. The Israel military stated that the operation aimed to prevent from Hezbollah from rearming and rebuilding its military capabilities. Hezbollah condemned the strike, calling it a serious violation of a ceasefire and a dangerous escalation. Lebanese President Joseph denounced the attack and called on the international community to intervene to end Israel's strike.
And this is it for this 9 p.m. English News Edition. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned for more on RTD.